Okay, we'll start with our prayer. So we'll start with Vijnanam Yajnam Tanute. But before that, prayer. Sri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om Shanno Mitrah Samvarunaha Shanno Bhavatvaryama Shanna Indro Brihaspatihi Shanno Vishnurukramaha Namo Brahmane Namaste Vayo Tvameva Pratyaksham Brahmasi Tvameva Pratyaksham Brahma Vadishyami Ritam Vadishyami Satyam Vadishyami Tanmamavatu Tadavaktaramavatu Avatu Mam Avatu Bhaktaram Avatu Bhaktaram Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahano Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om. Namaste. Namaste to you all. So we have studied up to Vijnanam Yajnam Tanuti. We'll go to the translation because otherwise Sanskrit will be too burdensome. So Vijnanam Yajnam Tanute. Tanute means spreads. So that Vijnana means intelligence. Intelligence, what it does? When we know something, okay, before that let us start the beginning. What is the idea? This Upanishad is saying, lifting us from lower level to higher level. So up till now we have seen, first it concentrated on the Annamaya Kosha, the sheath of food. Most of the time our attention is in Annamaya Kosha, this body, simple. And we all the time try to clean it, try to dress it, decorate it, and so many other things. And this also is a source of joy. So naturally people indulge in the identification of body. But then Upanishad told that this Annamaya Kosha is only limited. Why? Because it increases and decreases. When you eat food and then when you are young, then it increases, and then at the time with the age, then it deteriorates. Though we are living because of Anna. So Anna we eat, digest, assimilate, and then we survive. Here Upanishad is not denying to do that. Rather, it is showing that this is a lower level. One should transcend this lower level to reach the higher level. So then the second layer is pranamaya kosha. Pranamaya kosha, as we know, this annamaya kosha is only dead, means it is material. It is only matter, that it has no life of itself. But it moves. How it moves? That means there is something, some force is there which it is helping to move. So what is that? So prana. And it is within this annamaya kosha. It is better than that. So pranamaya kosha, and because of that we move about, we do all our works. And it is like this Purusha, like as this body is there, similarly it is within. So that we can grasp. And various Vedas, Yajureva Shiraha, Rig Dakshina Paksha. So what is like a bird, how it is equated with bird. A bird has a head and two fins. Similarly, this pranamaya kosha also has got similar. Now after this comes, there is another subtle layer, which is pranamaya, manomaya. Because mind controls all this pranamaya and annamaya. So it must be subtler. Whatever is subtle, that controls the lower one, what is the gross. So this is manomaya kosha. So manomaya kosha, because it cogitates, it is subtler than the previous one. Then comes the fourth one, Vijnanamaya kosha. So Vijnanamaya kosha means knowledge, intelligence. This who can understand the movement of mind, and who controls the movement of mind, and through mind it controls the pranamaya, that means the vital forces, all the movement, etc. And through that the body is controlled. So it must be subtler than the previous one. So this way, why it is important? Whatever we identify, we become so. Yo yat shraddha sa eva sa. So whatever shraddha we have, if we have body consciousness, then we are bodies. But if we have higher consciousness like prana or mana, mind and also intellect, then we are a better person. You know, poets generally, they dwell in Anandamaya kosha, like Rabindranath Tagore. So when your thoughts are so refined that it is closer to your real self, then you can grasp that joy, bliss from within, and you will become a better person. So why we should cultivate this? Because to become a better person, rather the best. So that will come, the last one, that is when you realize the self. Now, this whole universe, so huge, it has no limit as it were. But compared to yourself, it is limited. This world is limited. You are unlimited. You are not contained. Rather, you contain the whole universe. So this is to be understood. To understand that, gradually we have to lift ourselves from annamaya, then pranamaya, then manomaya, then vijnanamaya. So now let us go with this. This is the background. Now, vijnanam yagyam tanute. Yagyam is whatever we do when it is done for a higher purpose, that is yajna. So japa yajna, jnana yajna, this is jnana yajna. So when we are intelligent, then will not indulge in lower things. Rather will be concentrating on higher thoughts. Say some people are engaged in painting, or say writing poems, or some other cultivation, music, dancing, to cultivate higher thoughts. That's very important, because then a man can lift oneself from lower spheres. Singing especially, very good, very nice. Sri Ramakrishna always would sing, and he would be with joy, full of joy. He'll enjoy that. So, whatever we know, our activities also surrounding or according to it. If I know how to cook, then I'll cook. So if I know how to song, I have to sing, then I'll be singing. That means I can enjoy singing. And it also expresses the same Brahman, but in a limited way. Through body also we experience the same joy, only very, very limited, infinitesimal part of the joy. And body gives, first its senses deteriorates, number one, and after certain time then it is no more interesting. Say nowadays we see some people are, seeing videos. It gives joy, but after certain time you'll be fed up with it. That's why they try to find out new things, that roller coaster. So it gives a little joy, like, then you cannot go on like doing this. So grosser source of joy only for limited person or limited time. That's why we need to cultivate higher thoughts. So here is the indication how to do it. So Vijnanam yajnam tanute, karmani tanute apicha. So what that intelligence performs the sacrifice. The sacrifice here, say in the beginning sacrifice was discovered. What is sacrifice? Whatever you offer that for higher cause, that is sacrifice, yajna. And it also performs the sacred acts. That means whatever you do in yajna, it's not ordinary action, rather it is higher action, and it yields also higher action. So if you know coding or computer or various software, then your work will be paid in a higher remuneration, or higher remuneration will be given to you. So similarly, if we do yajna with intelligence, then what will happen? The action also will be of higher caliber. All devas worship intelligence as Brahman, the eldest. So Brahman, here intelligence is eldest, and the scope is there, that is Brahman, Atyatishta Dashangulam. Like, who is there? Here also it is Brahman. But not only here. Rather, we have to go higher, then we'll see that, that is higher value. So, to find higher values, devas worship intelligence. Devas means principles. We can conceive, there is no harm, that like us, there is devas also. Anthropomorphic. We are, as a human being, we can think as deva, like a sun god. So he is going on a chariot. That chariot runs by 7 horses. What 7 horses? 7 colors. Okay. So, this way it is to make uh, people understand with those people who are not that intelligent. So, for ordinary people, this is okay. But we have to understand Deva means whatever shines. Deva Dotanavan, whatever shines. The principles shine. So, all Devas worship intelligence as Brahman, the eldest. If a man knows intelligence as Brahman, and if he does not swerve from it, he attains the desires having left behind all sins of the body. Now, we can understand. If you are concentrating on intellectual pursuit, then you'll have less and less physical troubles. Why? Because your attention is in intellect. So, like Shankaracharya said, like chhatri, like an umbrella. When you remove umbrella, what happens? The shade is also removed. Similarly, when your attention is on higher level, then your pain, etc., will be less and less. So, if a man knows intelligence as Brahman, and if he does not swerve from it, many times we can be swerving from it. Sometimes we feel, oh, we are very, very good at it. But then, after a certain time, then we come back to the same level. That is not required. Rather, one should not swerve. He attains all desires, having left behind all sins of the body. Okay. Of the former, this one verily is the embodied self. Now, in embodied, this also Shariratma. Shariratma means this is embodied self. Self. This body is also embodied self. But this is gross. Subtler is Pranamaya, and subtler is Manomaya, and then Vijnanamaya. So that's what is being said here. Then that at different form of the former, Sharire pap manohita sarvan kaman samashnutete. Sarvan kaman samashnutete. That means he enjoys whatever is ordained by intelligence. He attains those joys. When you read a book, you feel joy. Why? Because you are in intellectual pursuit. So that is why. Tasyaiva sharira atma. Of the former, that means the previous one, is what is that? Manomaya. That is body, and this is Atma. But there next will be intelligence is body, Anandamaya course will be the Atma. Yaha purvasya tasmat by tasmat vijnanamayat. So now from Vijnanamaya there is another Atma, that is Anandamaya. Anandamaya means bliss sheath. Bliss sheath. Still it is a sheath. It's not real self, but this is perceptible. Then that and different from this, which is formed of Vijnana, intelligence, is the other, the inner self formed of Ananda. So this is formed of Ananda, Vijnana Maya. So Mayat Pratyay. Maya means Prachuryat, but here Mayat means Vikar, evolutes. That means this is also evolutes of Prakriti. Prakriti means this objective world. So evolutes. Now the question comes, is it the self is moving? Self is not moving, self is in its own place. But awareness is being, it is like this. Swamiji said that suppose there is a screen and the other side very nice scenery, and you make a small hole and then you make it little bigger so you can see more of that other side. Similarly, as you grow the hole or make bigger holes, then you can see more. Here what is the scenery is not moving, hole is getting bigger and bigger. Similarly, our awareness, our understanding is growing. From body, then comes prana. From prana comes mind, manomaya. From mind comes intelligence. Now from intelligence, again there is something which is called anandamaya. That means it is evolutes of the ananda. And Atman is not moving. Rather, it has greater manifestation. So in Anandamaya, more manifestation than Vijnanamaya. So that's the idea. So, and the different from this, which is formed of Vijnana, intelligence, is the other, the inner self, formed of Ananda, bliss. By that this is filled. What is filled? Vijnanamaya. So Ananda, because it is shining, it is emitting joy, so Vijnanamaya also gets a little. Even Manomaya also gets a little. Pranamaya and Annamaya also get a little. That's why if a person is meditating, so what will happen? He is closer to the self. He will feel joy. And body also improves. His mind also will improve. So even movement also will improve. So this is the, by that this is filled. It also has the shape of man. Purusha vidhaiva. According to the human shape of that is the human form of this. Okay. Love is its head, joy its right wing, delight is its left wing, bliss is the trunk, that means self, Brahman is the tail, the support. So now, what is this? So first is moda. Moda tasya priyameva shiraha. So whatever is dear, when we want something and we get it, so that's called moda. Moda means joy. So priya labha nimitta harsha. That means whatever we like and we get, so we are joyous. Why it happens? Because the mental modification is stopped for a very, very minute or for a little while. That's why we feel that joy. That time the floodgate of joy opens up. So we feel joy. According to the human nature, love is its head, joy its right wing. And what is pramoda? Pramoda is prakrishta harsha. That means more or more expressed joy. So pramoda. Delight is its left wing. Bliss is the trunk, self. And Brahman is its tail. That means it depends on Brahman. From Brahman, joy comes. And later it will tell that rasaha vaisaha. That means it is that self same Brahman who is most which is within, from there comes this joy. He is rasa sarupa. Rasa sarupa means he is full of rasa. When we enjoy something, it's like this. When you eat something, say a rasagulla maybe, a cheese ball. So what happens? The sense organ comes to the contact of sense object. Then a sensation goes to our brain. We identify that brain. And as we identify, if a mind is concentrated, then we enjoy. If suppose your mind is somewhere, even if the best thing that you are eating, but you will not feel that joy. So mind should be connected. Then only we have that joy. So here, Brahman is the tail, the support. So all joy or bliss comes from Brahman. Okay, we'll go through this, because these two layers are very important. Vijnana is said to be the real agent of all actions, inasmuch as it is only when the determinative faculty of the buddhi gives sanction that the mind and the senses can work through the gross vehicle, that means body. The self cannot be the doer of actions, as all actions must be preceded by motives, and these very motives are nothing but. So self is not indulged in any work, but when it shines, all activities or whatever happens, that happens. When sun is up, then everybody works. Similarly, when the awareness consciousness is present, then only anything happens, even actions also happen. Now, ordinarily in our sacred texts, the word karma is used to be denote sacred rites only. But here we may take the word in a literal sense to mean also any deed, sacred or worldly amounts. Now, here it is referred to Hiranyagarbha, Brahman. So that is Brahman Jeshtum Upasati. So eldest. So here referred to Hiranyagarbha, the cosmic mind. It is said to be the eldest because he is the first manifestation, or he is the source of all individual life activities. So Hiranyagarbha means golden womb. From there all the creations happen, and then activities also initiated. Constantly meditating on the Hiranyagarbha, one feels identified with it and thus attains all the wonderful powers. It is endowed with. The Hiranyagarbha is the source of all fruits of action. So, Sarvan Kaman Samushnutaiti. He attains all desired object. Because when you are one with Hiranyagarbha, that means the first creator or first created who creates. So then what happens? Whatever you want, that comes to you. That means Satya Sankalpa. Whatever Sankalpa you take, whatever resolve you make, that will happen. Okay. Again, one becomes free from all sins too. Body is the cause of all sins and having livelihood. So I have explained that as you lift your mind, and if it is in the sheet of intelligence, then the lower will be, lower effects will be ineffective. So that is what is being said here. Okay, so we go forward. Besides this Vijnanamaya Kosha, there is another Kosha which is called Anandamaya Kosha. Okay, thus the self is not also the real enjoyer, as some philosophers hold the opinion. The self becomes the enjoyer by avidya. So it is in Bhagavad Gita also said that this Purusha Sukha Dukkhanam Hetu Prakriti Ruchyate. That means because of presence of Prakriti, Purusha enjoys or suffers. So it is not in reality, but it looks like it suffers and enjoys. It's like this. You can see. If you take on say water on a plate, and you reflect a beam of light, and you shake the water, what happens? It looks like the image looks like it is shaking. But light is not shaking. It looks like that it is shaking. Brahman is the tail support. Brahman, whose nature is the unconditional absolute bliss, is called, they are the support of this Annamaya Kosha, for two reasons. First, because it forms the background of the subtlest kosha of jiva. Secondly, because all feelings of happiness and joy are nothing but meager reflection of the supreme joy of Brahman. So whatever we feel joy, whenever we feel joy, so it is because of the self. As it is said, Atmanarthi, so it all because of the self. If there is no self, no joy or sorrow. As it would be said later on in this Upanishad that no joy, no life could be possible without the existence of this absolute blissful Brahman. So when this self is there, Brahman that we call, or Atma, then only from it the joy percolates. And we feel more in Anandamaya Kosha. In Vijnanamaya it is little less, Manomaya, Pranamaya and Annamaya, lesser. So more as we go closer, and you are not worried about, you don't swerve from it, then you attain all your desires as also the bliss. So it will be saying later, no life could be possible without the existence of this absolute blissful Brahman. Why? Because even joy, there will be no joy. Then why one should breathe? People will be not interested to breathe. Why should I live? When there is no joy, then nobody would like that. So asanneva, now we go forward. Asanneva sabhavati, he becomes asat. Asat brahmeti vedachet. If he knows that there is no Brahman, no existence, verily he becomes who knows Brahman as non-existing. Why? Why non-existing? We see something, say this book, you can see it, you can touch it, you can hold it. But Brahman, where is Brahman? So, whatever is seen or we can interact with, even we can think about our our emotions, we can understand, we can perceive our emotions. Similarly, we can understand our thoughts, we can perceive our thoughts. But where is Brahman? So some may think that it is not there. And Buddhists think about that. But Brahman is beyond Sat and Asat. Why it is beyond Sat and Asat? Because if you say Sat or if you say Asat, you are limiting. And Sri Ramakrishna, what Sri Ramakrishna said, Brahman is with form, without form, and so many other things. You cannot, Brahmer iti kara jayena. You cannot say Brahman is this and not this. That is why Upanishad also will go, and Upanishad is very careful about it. But before that, he is making the ground. Asanneva sabhavati. Non-existent, verily, he becomes, who knows Brahman as non-existing. If you say no, Sri Ramakrishna said, if you are bitten by a snake, and if you can say, no, I have no poison, then poison is eliminated. So this is seen, like I'll give an example. A person was making a thatched roof. And he was doing everything. And then what happened is something stuck to his finger. And he thought that there is something. No, he did not worry about it. And then he finished that job and he did everything. Next year again he was repairing the same roof, thatched roof. And when he was removing the old thatch, then he found there is a skeleton of a snake. Then he thought, oh my God, that time I was bitten by a snake. And the sign and symptoms of poison started after 1 year. So, it is said, not cobra, like but if you can affirm firmly, or you can say firmly that no, there is no poison, the poison also disappears. Why? Then resistance of the body is created. So what happens when we give importance? Then it acts on us. I'll give 2-3 examples. Say, suppose you are afraid of a monkey, then it will chase you. Okay. We had COVID this time. So many people got vaccination. But some people did not. And they're still there. So, body has a capacity to increase its resistance. Body, mind also. Mind also. If you are afraid, then you are defeated. Therefore, those who are courageous, they are not afraid at all. Why lion is honored as the king of jungle? Because it's valor. It goes, it doesn't bother, and it fights. So, non-existence, verily he becomes, who knows Brahman as non-existence. It means whatever you believe in, yo yat shraddha sa eva saha. If you believe that I am self, then you are self. If you believe, no, I cannot do it, you cannot do it. As simple as that. He who knows Brahman as existing, him they regard then as existing. Why? Because Brahmavit Brahmaiva bhavati. The knower of self becomes Brahman. And he becomes similarly adorable as Brahman. Say Sri Ramakrishna, knower of Brahman, so he became Brahman. In other words, you can think about this. This whole universe, there is truth, there is joy, there is existence, awareness, bliss. And you bring it and concentrate it and make a form. That form will look like Sri Ramakrishna. Regarding Holy Mother, take motherhood from all being, not only women, all being. Ya Devi Sarvabhuteshu Matrirupena Samstita. Namastasya, Namastasya, Namastasya Namo Namaha. And bring that motherhood, concentrate it, and make a form that will look like Holy Mother. All motherhood. So, I am not telling only Sri Ramakrishna or only Holy Mother. In an incarnation, you will find this. But here in this age, Sri Ramakrishna and Holy Mother, these are representative of that. So, he who thinks that there is no nothing, there is no Brahman, so he becomes no Brahman. Asti Brahmeti Ched Veda, if he knows, if he understands that Brahman is Santamenam Tato Viduriti, then he becomes Brahman. He who knows Brahman as existing, him they regard then as existing. Of him, of the former, this verily is the embodied self. Tasyaisha eva sharira atma. Thereupon arise the following questions of the people. Does he who knows not, after having departed this world, ever go there? So suppose somebody does not know, then will he arrive there or not arrive? And also, does he arrive means, say, generally what we have concept that people go to heaven or hell. But those who worship Krishna or Vishnu or God, that because of that awareness, they are in presence of him. In Sayujya, Sarupya, Sarshti, Salokya, means living on the same level, same sphere. We are now in this earth. So we are of the same level. What does that mean? Say, suppose in this house, there are various radio stations are available. Thousands. But it is not tuned, so we cannot hear. If you tune your radio, then you can hear those music. If you tune your television, you can see those pictures. It is very much here. But we are not tuned to that here. You tune it and you are there. So what happens when you meditate on Sri Ramakrishna or say Vishnu or any god, what happens? Your awareness is tuned to that state. Naturally, you will go there. Go there means what? It's not something is going somewhere. Self cannot move, as we have just now explained. But similar awareness will come. So we call, if you worship Sri Ramakrishna, then you will go to Ramakrishna Lok. You are not going somewhere, but you are present in his presence. So, Tasyaiva Sharira Atma. Thereupon arise the following questions. Does he who knows not, after having departed this world, ever go there? And also, does he who knows, after leaving the world, ever obtain that? He desired, me I be many, me I be so kamayata. Why this question comes? Because we feel that we exist, right? If somebody says that you don't exist, you'll say, dear sir, mind your business. Hmm. So why? Because we feel it. Why this question comes, that existence of Brahman or non-existence of Brahman? Because Brahman is nirvishesha. We cannot limit him. We cannot indicate that this is Brahman. So this, even what we feel that I exist, that also you cannot say. Okay. In your deep sleep, when you experience, that time you cannot say yourself. When you are coming out of it, then you say, yes, yes, I was there because I experienced joy. But this you are saying when you have come out of it. So now we are thinking about whether that exists or non-exists. So because Brahman is nirvishesha, without any adjunct, we cannot say this exists or this does not exist. No, Buddhism, the whole Buddhism is, there is no Atma, there is no self. Even they will say, argue that what you feel that I exist, it is also temporary. How? So this you are seeing, this bulb is lighting, and you are seeing it is constant, but actually not constant. 50 cycles per second. So it is so fast that you cannot perceive this. You see a river, you are thinking it is a constant. No, it's flowing all the time. You cannot take bath in the same river twice. Similarly, this existence of I that we feel, they will say it is also kshanik vijnan. It's only temporary, but it is quick, very quick. And that gives a notion that I exist. That is why we cannot say that Brahman is or Brahman is not. That is why. So having so comes now why this question comes, that after having this one, why question comes, leaving this, the world, ever obtain that, or he who knows not, after having departed this world, ever go there? Because when we cannot indicate, so question comes whether he will go there or not. Even the possibility of them also there. Why? Because as we understand, everyone, even who he does not know, he is also existing in Brahman. So, even if a person does not know, he is also verily in the same self. Only difference is when we know something, then we positively understand. Say like in deep sleep, what happens? You don't know there, but still you go there. Those people who do analyze, understands deep sleep, or that they can infer what is deep sleep and why we feel joy. And some people don't think about it, but both go there. So this is the purpose. He desired, me I be many. So kamayata bahusyam prajayeti. So how this creation happened? It happened because of the desire. Desire to be many. Suppose you are in deep sleep, then what happens? We are dragged out of it and we see this world. But Ishvara, who comes by his own will, he wants to be many. We can understand, say, like a poet composes a poem. There is a will there. And behind will is the desire to be many. A painter paints, there is a will. Behind that will there is a desire. So when we see this world, that means behind this there is a desire. So kamayata, he desired, may I be many, may I grow forth through propagation. He performed tapas. Tapas means tapasachi yate brahma. That means it swells. If you want to make something, say someone wants to make a building, so he thinks about it. He gathers various data from various people. When go to council to know more how to build, what are the codes, and then gradually that comes up. So this growth within, that is tapasya. So tapasa chiyate brahma. So may I be many, may I grow forth. He performed tapas. Having performed tapas, he brought forth all this. Whatever there is, having brought forth, he entered into it. Now, we conceive in a Brahma, he created. How he created? Yatha dhata purvam akalpayat. That means it's a cycle. Say, yesterday, how it was there, and today is almost similar. So the creator meditates on the previous kalpa, how it was there, and he creates this similarly. He brought forth all this, whatever there is, having brought forth, he entered into it. Now, this world, after creation, he entered into it. Okay, it is like this. You paint or you compose a music, you have entered into it. You are verily present there. In your dream, you have entered into that dream. You are verily present there. Similarly, this whole universe, whatever you see, he has entered into it. We have to discover him, and he is within us. Within us, he has entered within. Having entered it, he became Sat. That is manifested. So what happens? Asat, when we say Asat, that means unmanifested. And Sat means manifested. So before creation it is Asat. Asat means not yet manifested. And when it manifests, then we call it Sat. He performed, having entered it, he became Sat, what is manifest, and Tyat, what is not manifested. So Tat and Tyat. See, here many things are there, but we don't see. So we think it does not exist. Now we can understand, if we have radio, we can tune and we find so many waves here, electromagnetic waves. But you ask a ignorant man, he'll say, no, nothing is there. See, I can see here nothing. But here you can see, light is also there. Only when we bring an object, then only you can see. See there light? But before we bring, we think there is nothing. All our behavior pattern is like that. When we see something, we don't see, oh, get out of it. No, we don't say that. We see directly because we feel that there is nothing in between. Okay. So Tyat, that is not manifest, defined and undefined, supported and not supported, sentient and insentient. So here, so tapastapta idam sarvamasi edevam kinchit. Tadanu pravishya satya tyachya abhavat niruktam cha niruktam cha nilayanam cha nilayanam cha vijnanam cha avijnanam cha satyam cha nritam satyam abhavat. So all this, that means whatever we see, whether it is vibrating, not vibrating, or it is existing, non-existence, everything is He. He alone exists. And defined and undefined, supported and not supported, sentient and insentient. Nowadays scientists, they have discovered dark matter. What you don't see and you cannot even measure. So it is dark matter. But there is something. So they are finding different things. But Vedanta has discovered that reality. And that reality is not out there. It is here. And because of that, everything is manifested. Sentient, sentient and insentient, real and unreal, the Satya, true, became all this. Whatever there is, whatever we see or don't see, and therefore they call it Satya, existent. On this there is the following verse. So that it will come, asadvai damagrasit tato vai sadajayat. Okay, we'll go forward. There are many things, but in the beginning, otherwise we'll lose interest. In the beginning was verily the non-existent. That means what? Not manifested. From that was generated the existent. That means now manifested. That made itself by itself. It is not that somebody came and made this. No. It is He himself has become this. And from Advaitic standpoint, it is called Vikar, not Vikar, Vivarta. What is Vikar and what is Vivarta? Vikar means when you take milk and set yogurt, you cannot convert into milk again. So that is Vikara, evolutes or transformation. But what is Vivarta? Vivarta means it looks like this. This looks like world, but in reality is Brahman. It looks like your dream, but it's actually you. Who is dreaming? You. So other than you, there is no existence of dream. Similarly, other than you, you don't have existence of this world. Though it looks like so huge, but it is you who exist. Tasya bhasa sarvamidam vibhati. When it shines, everything is visible. Everything is shining. So, in the beginning was verily this non-existent. From that was generated the existent. That made its self by itself. Therefore, it is called self-made. Tadvai tat sukritam. Sukritam is self-made. That one who is the self-made is verily the joy. Ah, that is joy. So it is not dependent on anything. If you depend on anything, then it is not joy. It is only suffering. Dukkham, dukkham, sarvam dukkham. Accept yourself. Whatever you gather from outside, it's not joy. So this is to be identified. We'll read quickly, it is time today, but we'll read quickly and then we'll go through next time. Having attained this joy, man becomes blessed. Who would have lived and breathed had not this sky of bliss existed? If for nothing we can do. Say if I say you do something, so then Swami, what is the advantage? So all the time, whatever we do, we want to know what is the advantage of it, what is the profit, benefit of it. If you want to invest your money, then you see which one will give me more interest. And also risk-free. So both we want. Without risk and also most beneficial. So who would have lived and breathed had not this sky of bliss existed? This verily it is that bestows bliss. And it is the source, the fountain is within. From there it comes. That is why we have to meditate. When we meditate, we are closer to the self, and the joy is the reward. This verily is it. It is that bestows bliss, when it finds in that invisible, unembodied, unpredicated, unpredicted, and unpredicated, then abodeless Atman. So it has no place to reside. Because why? Everything resides in it. It is not dependent on anything. Everything depends on this. Abodeless and basis of life, free from fear, then verily it transcends all fear. And if you know this, then you are abhayam sabhavati. Etasmin tasyam atha soham so abhayam gato bhavati. So bhayam gato bhavati. Atha so bhayam gato bhavati. Then you become abhaya, fearlessness. But if you deviate from it even a little, then you are full of fear. When it finds in that, but when it makes any differentiation in it, in the least degree, then for it there is fear. If you separate yourself a little, then you have fear. For the unwise knower indeed, it is fear. There is the following verse about it. So that it will go on to say that Bhishasmad Bhatha Pavate Bhishodeti Suryaha. So everything is because of fear of Brahman. Everybody is working. Like fear of government, fear of cops, fear of government, people are driving on the side they are supposed to drive. Or they follow rules because of fear. Otherwise, government will put him in a jail. So, this is the key of fearlessness, to know oneself. That is the key. That is why our goal should be to know ourselves. Okay, we'll stop here. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Tat Sat. Sri Ramakrishna Arpanamastu. Yes.
Is Hiranya Garbha and the cosmic mind the same thing?
You can say yes.
Thank you.
Hiranyagarbha is golden womb. So you are say we can compare like this. You are coming out from your deep sleep. Then this world is again projected. So that's why it is called firstborn. We can understand in a different way. Say suppose like this. You go to sleep. So everything gradually what happens? Everything is absorbed in you. That's called Mahat. Or that's also same thing, it's Hiranyagarbha. So mind that time, not this mind. This is individual mind. So two things are Vyashti and Samashti. Individual and collective. So we experience this one. As we experience as an individual, now you can conceive, similarly this whole world goes back to Mahat. Mahat. And from there it springs again. So this is, otherwise we don't have an instrument, where to find? So by comparison, as we experience, this is also conceived like this. Let me say it again. One is called Ajnana, ignorance. Ajnana is Prakriti also, it is called Prakriti. So Prakriti, when it is going to manifest, so that we call him as Mahat. So from Mahat, as in our individual case, we see everything comes out. And again it goes back to that. Again the next day it comes out. Again it goes back to it. As it is happening in the case of individual person, now you extend this for universal, collective. So this whole world goes back to Mahat. And again from Mahat it expands. So that we call Hiranyagarbha. From there, that's a golden womb. So this is collective. So mind is also formed there. So Mahat is, it is not distinguished by that time. Not, say, differentiated, undifferentiated. So you can say that even the cause of mind, when undifferentiated, then gradually differentiated. Then we call it mind, this. But when it is undifferentiated, all one, so that is Hiranyagarbha. For individual case, you can understand, as you go to sleep, everything crumbles and goes to in one. Next morning from there it comes out. So like that. So comparing individual, we infer similar in the case of universal or collective. Okay, thank you very much.
Swami, real quick. So
Yes.
it means, what you're saying is Prakriti is first, Hiranyagarbha is second, in a linear fashion, is that
Yeah.
correct?
So Prakriti also works because of presence of Purusha.
Right,
Okay. So Prakriti, then comes Hiranyagarbha, and then comes Virat.
right.
So Virat means this manifested world.
Oh, Babaharika,
Manifested world, Virat. And in individual case it's called Vishwa. Vishwa, Virat. And Virat, Hiranyagarbha and Prakriti, that means unmanifested. Unmanifested. Unmanifested when it wants to manifest. So that is like floodgate of creation. So that is Hiranyagarbha or Mahat.
thank you. Something to think about.
You know, this is the way we understand why. Because there is no instrument to know. But every day this happens. Every day this world comes out. And when we go to sleep, every day everything crumbles. And then it goes to source. And again the same process happens every day. So if it is possible for individual case, then we have to understand the universe also similar. And this is, that Prakriti Vikriti. Why Vikriti? Prakriti transforms itself as if transforms itself into 24 cosmic principles. What are those? 5 sense organs, 5 organs of action, Panchabhuta, 5 elements, and then Panchatanmatra, and then comes 5 Panchaprana, and Mana Buddhi Chitta Ahankar. This is whole universe. What else? But this is manifested universe, and it goes to that Mahat state, and Mahat is when it is wanting to create, and when the seed form, that's we call Ajnana or Prakriti, like that. Thank you very much. Jai Ma.
Pranam. Bhai.
Namaste, namaste. Yeah. Do you want to ask anything?
No.
Okay. Everybody wants you to ask some question. Anyway, that's good. I'm saved today.